So you've talked about how one of the things that you were most taken by surprise when you were covering Donald Trump during the election was how often you had to fact check him on the fly.
Yeah.
How did he compare to other people you've interviewed, and did you have to change how you prepared as you realized that was going to be a challenge?
I've never interviewed somebody who tells a falsity every 3 sentences or whatever it calculated out to be, but he told falsities and in some cases lies frequently on the campaign trail. He was slippery like a snake, and he likes to talk over you and not answer the questions that you've asked. So you just get louder, you push back, you do whatever you have to do.
You've also written about how you were one of the reporters that he liked to, at his rallies, point to you, wave at you, talk about the lies you were telling about him. Put us in the scene. What was that like when he did that?
He did it all the time. The very first time I was at a rally with Donald Trump, the first time I shared the same air as Donald Trump, I'd never met him before, he accused me of not paying attention to him in front of all the people at this backyard pool. It was innocuous at the time. It felt innocuous at least, although it was kind of odd. Why is he pointing me out in this crowd? And then he would do it intermittently for the next few months while I was the only recognizable correspondent on the campaign trail following him. In Nashville, he would try to introduce me to a crowd like I was his wife. In New Hampshire, he called me a liar because, and I was disgusting because I reported on poll numbers that showed Ben Carson was gaining on him. He kissed me on the cheek at a Morning Joe appearance and told everyone how wonderful I was. I was so great that he had to kiss me. He said this on air. I don't know if he saw that there would be anything wrong with that, or if he did, he certainly didn't care.
How do you think Donald Trump wants to be treated by you and other members of the press?
He wants to be feted, celebrated. He wants to be loved. He wants to be covered in glowingly positive terms. He wants people to say what a brilliant businessman he is and what a brilliant deal maker he is. That's what he wants. He wants unfailing praise.
Over and over again, we heard, this is the scandal that's going to end Donald Trump. You know, this is it, the tape, or when he attacked the Gold Star parents. Did any of that, I mean, did you ever believe that any of those sort of scandals had any...
The Access Hollywood tape was, felt big for a number of reasons. One, the words that he said. Number two, the campaign went completely dark and silent for a couple days. He apologized. It was the first time that he had apologized in that way. That I had ever seen. 50 current and former lawmakers came out and said, drop out or I will not vote for you. Then again, we knew that we wouldn't really know how it would play out until we went to a rally. Would they still be as boisterous? Would the same amount of people show up? Would women show up to these rallies? Yes, yes, yes.
You've spent so much time with Donald Trump. Where do you think he's going to take the country? Where do you think this is going next?
I think if you look at Donald Trump's past, it predicts his future. He is the way he is. Anyone who expected him to change when he walked into the Oval Office was deluding themselves. I don't know where he is exactly leading the country per se, because he hasn't gotten anything done legislatively. He's not getting along with Congress whatsoever. We'll see if he's able to make any deals with either side of the aisle. Right now, he seems more focused on slamming them and criticizing them and calling them names than he is with getting anything done. And will voters see a president who was too bombastic, was too much of a fighter, too much of a pugilist? Or will they see him as somebody who was trying to get things done, but was facing a unwilling Congress who were protecting their own self-interest rather than trying to look out for the good of America? That is the big question. How do voters react in 2018? Do they condone his behavior or do they send a message?